Hi guys, I've got another exciting video for you, this time with working audio. However, I'm also getting solar panels put on my roof today, so there's going to be some construction noises in the background. Apologies for that ahead of time. All right, so what we're looking at here is going to reflect the changes that we discussed on site earlier this week. Specifically, we want to look at the back patio feature door, the main big door that gets us from the backyard or from the living room to the backyard. And what I'm showing here now, based on our conversation before, was that we wanted to go with the 24-foot wide opening with the three 8-foot wide panels, excuse the noise. And what we'll be seeing here is that all three panels, and here in the closed position, all three of these panels can be operable. So we can slide them anywhere we want along the track. We can open this one first, that one first. Those two do have to move for this middle panel to move, but that's okay. And what that allows us is to move this stack of panels anywhere we want along the line. So it could be all the way over here, acting as a little mini barrier between the living room areas. It could be all the way over here against the other side, acting as a little barrier between the dining tables. And finally, the panels could be about 4 foot off the wall, as I'm showing here, to allow for quick, convenient access between the kitchen and the outdoor kitchen, while still allowing about a 12-foot opening here between the two living areas. So I think this is fantastic. We will take a look at what it would look like with the nano wall option instead, but I wanted to quickly also talk about a couple other benefits of going with this stacked feature in mind. Okay. So now, as we turn the corner and look at the kitchen, we can see just how much we've benefited from capturing that extra 11 inches of space, where the pocket door required us to shrink the island down to 3 foot wide and reduce the space between the cabinets down to 3'6". We're now seeing the 4 foot wide island and a 4 foot wide space here between the range and the sink. I'm also showing here, just as a placeholder for now, the idea that we could do full height curtains that would be suspended from the ceiling down to the floor. And I would propose, instead of seeing all 24 feet of curtains bunched up on this side, I think it'd probably be best to pull the cabinets off the wall a little bit and allow for these curtains to park themselves here between the wall and the cabinet. I think it fills it nicely. It won't feel like there's a void there once those curtains are up and bunched up over here in the corner. Let's take a look at the outdoor covered patio. When we met on site earlier this week, Jim had an excellent idea of eliminating the post, a secondary post that I was showing here, between what was the covered area and what was more open and more of a pergola that would allow sunlight to come through. I think that's a fantastic idea. So what we're seeing here now is going to be a lot more flexible in how you arrange furniture, where things can move. So long as you have enough room to walk behind your furniture here, not having a post here is a really fantastic idea. It does lengthen the overall covered patio look. I think it could be really fantastic, especially and so long as we leave some of this roofing as a more open pergola or trellis type of a feature that will allow a lot of really great sun and shadows to come through. As I was showing off in the last video, I think it would be great to incorporate another one of these skylight wells here at the covered patio, so you're still protected from the elements, but you'd get great views of the oak canopy beyond. And when sitting here at this furniture area, you're not really disconnecting yourself from the tips and the full height of the redwood tree. You still get to appreciate that. I think that's a really nice thing to keep while still protecting you and your guests from anything like falling leaf debris or even rain. Even on rainy days, you can sit out there. So I'm really happy with this. I think this is the right amount of glass. I think it's balanced quite well by the fact that we have a lot of solid wall here to host the curtains as well as some large format art pieces in the kitchen. I didn't want to interrupt what is a really clean looking elevation. Let's for just a moment hide all of the entourage and the context nearby and just look at the building as a design element. And I think this is just so handsome. We've got this solid brick wall that continues up and over this covered patio element. The ceiling of the covered patio is at the same height as the ceiling of the ground floor, really creating this fantastic, seamless indoor-outdoor connection when the door, especially when the doors are open. It's so phenomenal. I think it would be a good idea to at least turn back on the maybe just turn off all the furniture for now. Yeah, seeing the trees through all these skylights and this large bank of glass here, seeing the large redwoods through this covered skylight too is really nice. When we met, I think you mentioned there was a concern about your neighbor's windows. Let's take a quick look there. You had mentioned on site there was a concern about seeing the neighbor's window. And yeah, I think once everything is built up here, it's really hard to see the neighbor's windows from the ground floor. And if we go upstairs, well, if I get rid of the tree for now, just as a placeholder, and we go upstairs into your namaste space, I do think there's enough foliage that's going to block the view of that neighboring structure. Let's remove the trees. Just hold on. Perhaps there might be some views, direct views, depending on exactly how the foliage shows up. But I think here too, also doing some draw across curtains or even drop down shades would be sufficient to provide you some privacy. It's such a long view for them too. If I were to go and position myself more or less at their windows, and this isn't perfectly accurate, but it's close enough. And again, turn on those trees. That's a long view. It's a long way to go to see someone working out there, especially if we have some curtains drawn. And I did tell you that I was going to show a mock-up version of what this could look like with the NanoWall instead. So let's take a look at that. This is a bifolding system instead, and it's shorter in terms of overall width for what you can do. But when you do I think here I'm showing a 15-foot wide opening. Yeah, it's okay. It certainly looks it's a substantial opening. I mean, I can't lie. Anything over 8 feet, 4 feet is enough for two people to walk side by side through an opening. 15 feet certainly is wide, but I really don't care for how these stacks of panels stick out onto the relatively tight deck space. Space is tight here, and I think having to give up any space at all to door swings is just something I'd rather avoid. And for me, the really big issue with this kind of system is, like I previewed for you before, it's when the doors are in their closed position too. It's just a lot more frame to glass ratio. These panels, it's great they can be 10 foot tall still, but they're limited to being just over 3 foot wide. And in my opinion, I'd rather go with the widest, largest panels we could to see as much glass to frame ratio as possible. So let's come in here and see the other option again. Turn this one off. For me, this is the clear winner, the real blend between the indoor and the outdoor. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this, guys. Thank you so much.